Fitness Doctor on ESPN 730, the program where we address your exercise, nutrition, and overall health needs. My name is Aaron Cannady, and now an exercise physiologist in the School of Sports Sciences at Wingate University, the Fitness Doctor, Don Acquaviva.
Not only does the get longer, it gets a little more pronounced and louder each time. I love that part. Thank you, Aaron. Our topic for the day is good foods. Since 67% of the country's adults are obese or at least overweight, we know that nutrition plays a major role in that statistic. Consumers instinctively know that what we eat is important, so today we're going to place an emphasis not just on nutrition, but what we should regularly include on our meal plates and why. Aaron, what's in store for us today?
This segment's rundown includes in-studio guest Jennifer Brunelli.
She's back again?
Back again.
Yeah,
Quick Q&A with Dr. A, the social media breakdown, and fitness nuts in the news.
My special guest is Jennifer Brunelli. She's regularly been joining us every other Saturday. It's wonderful to have her here. She's a registered dietitian. I get exhausted saying this list, but she deserves to have it said. She's a former 7-time All-American in swimming at USC. That's University of Southern California for those Trojan fans. No, University of South Carolina for those Trojan fans. And she's the owner of Sports RD Pro, and among other consulting jobs, is the sports nutritionist for the Carolina Panthers. Jennifer, welcome back to the show, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
Did you have fun doing this list today? We're going to be going back and forth on the good foods.
This is going to be a good one.
Good. And you can take whatever I say and share it with your clients, and I won't charge you a thing.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're going to come right back with more conversation with Jennifer, a little bit more on our topic of the day. We're going to be discussing the specific foods that we should make earnest attempts to include in our daily meals. And how we're going to do this is Jennifer and I are going to go back and forth with each providing a food and why that food should be part of our daily diet. But actually, before we move on, Aaron, give us the social media info.
All right, if you have a question regarding good foods or would like to request a future topic, follow us on Twitter at Woo Fitness Doctor or like our page on Facebook at WU Fitness Doctor. Or you can reach out to us via email at woofitnessdoctor@wingate.edu.
I like that. The voice inflection gets better and more interesting. Good stuff. Hit that bell.
A lot of words.
And now, a segment called a quick Q&A with Dr. A. This is where I shoot a couple questions to the doc to get us rolling on today's conversation. Doc, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. What qualifies a food as being good?
It's a big question. In fact, that list goes on, but you're going to hear Jennifer and I talk about this. It's a few things. I think one of them is, first and foremost, that it's rich in nutrients like vitamins and minerals. I think fiber is going to play a role in a couple of things we talk about. We're going to be talking about good fats. Mm-hmm. So I think those 3 or 4 things alone would qualify something as a good food.
Question number 2. Do all good foods have low or no fat?
No, they don't. In fact, some of them are actually relatively high in fat, but we'll talk about why. And one of the things I can say right now, and I know Jennifer agrees with me on this, is that not only is fat necessary, it's downright vital to our daily nutritional plan. So we tend to put a 4-letter word on fat, but it's actually very necessary.
Question number 3. A list like this seems to change every so many years. Is there truth to that?
I think to a degree it is. I think good foods have always been good foods, certainly since we really come to understand nutrition in the last couple of decades as well as we do now. But they're always finding new chemicals and components and different varieties, for instance, of vitamin B. Mm-hmm. And chemistry gets more and more precise with each year, with each decade. And I think to a degree this list changes simply because we find out there's something different in foods. And of course, I think we're always discovering different types of foods as well. So yeah, I think there is some truth in that.
All right, that's the quick Q&A of the day. Now, back to the doc.
Okay, our goal today is to talk about foods that you should consume more often. We're calling this the Good Foods Conversation. And Jennifer and I are going to go back and forth. And in a way, it's going to be a little contest. So what we'll do is I'll mention a good food, the name of it, why it's good. Jennifer will counter with a food of hers. And little did she know, I didn't even tell her this off mic and off camera, but I'll be keeping score as we go through. I just have to mention to her she is sure to lose this battle because I'm the one that's keeping score. Despite the fact that she's not only a registered dietitian, but she is the registered dietitian for the Carolina Panthers.
Going to make it a competition.
They have football team here, or they have basketball team?
I think they're a football team.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
We can ask Jennifer at any point as well. All right, here's the first one. Mine is an avocado. And I glanced at Jennifer's list, and she has this on her list too. So this is one of the reasons I'm going to start off with 1 point. Reasons why avocados are good. First of all, it's what makes up guacamole. And I have to admit, Jennifer, I hated avocados and guacamole just 10, 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. And now I love it. I just had, the last 2 nights, I've had it with chips and pretzels. It's delicious. It's filling. It's like a meal.
Yeah, they've come to the forefront, and it's easy to replace something like a sour cream with that. It's delicious.
Have you ever gone into Chipotle?
Oh, yeah.
And then, do you know what they charge? I think $1.80.
It's a lot.
I know.
You know what I do?
That's
Buy
it.
it at the store. Bring your burrito home.
No, you don't.
Put it in
No,
there.
you don't.
Yeah.
No, you do that. You know what would even be better is have a
They
little
get you.
packet of it and then
That's
just
right.
order it and then just squeeze it. But I think it's $1.80.
It is. It's expensive. It
Oh,
is. They
that's-
are expensive. You know, I was actually just at the store before here, and it was, I think,
the grocery
$4.99.
store.
Yeah,
$4.99
for a 4-pack of actual avocados.
Wow. And
Yeah.
of course, about half of the weight in avocado is the pit. Have you ever seen the movie Oh God? It's a long time ago. Anyway, this George Burns, an old actor, plays God, and the main character asks George Burns, who's playing God, have you ever made a mistake, God? And he hesitated and he said, I made the avocado pit too big.
That's a good one.
That was a great line. Well, here's why avocados are good. First of all, they're rich in good fat, right? Which is called unsaturated fat. In fact, over 50% of it is made up of fat. And that's one of the reasons why it's so filling. It's rich in vitamins like vitamin B, and it contains what's called antioxidants. And antioxidants is a word that's thrown around a great deal, but to simplify it, folks, it just simply means that these compounds, these chemicals, when we take them to our body, they protect the cell, like red blood cells and skin cells and so forth, against the chemicals that are bad for our body from attacking those cells, and it keeps our cells healthy. And things like avocado have a lot of antioxidants. Now, just to be fair, what else could you add to that list?
Well, and we refer
why
to,
it's
about
good.
avocado, we refer to it as oxidative stress when we deal with athletes. And in order to recover from the extra oxygen that you're breathing to literally prepare your body to continue to perform, you need those nutrients to help you get oxygen to your muscles faster so you can keep going and so you can begin to recover. The other upside to that, 2 times the amount of potassium than a banana in an avocado.
And of course, that's what bananas are famous for, right?
Yep. So avocados definitely can be used in place of, certainly. And you know, you commented on doing guacamole. There's so many uses. Throw it on a sandwich. Throw it on top of a salad. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely places that you can use it. I don't know about you, but I'd like to just cut it up and eat it with a fork or a spoon.
Really?
So
Salt, pepper, maybe on it?
maybe a little pepper.
I can't do that.
No,
No, I
can't-
have
not
to
quite
have
there.
it. Yeah, I have to have it in something, but I prefer it more in the form of guacamole.
Yep. Well, and what I find is anywhere you would put sour cream, it's a good replacement for.
Or even better, our listeners are thinking maybe both.
Yeah.
Do you like guacamole?
No, honestly,
Have you tried
I
it?
have tried
Okay,
guacamole
you're not a
once-
fan.
Once in my life. And,
Is that right?
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it when I was I mean that. I could not stand it when I was your age, and I don't know how I came around. Is there anything that you eat now that, for instance, 10 years ago you could
Oh
stand?
gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot. I know there is. I don't know quite what they are. You know, asparagus is one of those
You'll eat it
things.
now.
I'll eat it now. Would not
Well, you
have
probably
eaten
had it out of
growing
the can and it was all soggy. And,
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
We've learned how to prepare
Oh,
things.
yeah, absolutely. But I remember it was just 10, 12 years ago. Somebody had guacamole, and I was like, no, thank you.
Oh,
And I was
really?
eating the chips by himself, and he's like, what are you, nuts? I've come full circle on that. It's great.
Working
Okay.
out in Arizona, I had to get
Oh,
used
yeah,
to it, and
yeah.
now I can't.
They had that for
live
breakfast,
without
avocados. Yeah.
every meal of the day.
Okay, avocado was my first one, my first good food. What's your first good food?
I'm gonna hit up wild salmon.
Wild salmon.
Wild salmon. I'm
Wild
gonna be
salmon.
specific on you.
Does this mean they party all the time? What do you mean wild? Like
It is. It's a
they're on
party,
Twitter,
right?
they're on Facebook. I'm going wild. It's salmon gone wild.
So it's basically just the way they're not farmed, the fact that they are raised.
Okay.
So here's the problem though with wild salmon. Going to the grocery store, it's going to be more expensive.
Got
If
it.
it's not on sale and you can't afford it, that's okay. Go for what's called canned wild salmon. That's going to kind of help you with the price around that. What you're not looking for is something called farmed salmon. Basically, it's a controlled environment.
It sounds good, actually. I think when people
sounds
hear
good,
that,
right?
they think of like, wheat fields in the background and, water. Seriously, right?
Yeah,
It just
thank
sounds
the
like
marketing department.
Now, why is wild better?
It's got a higher nutritional content.
It does.
Than farm raised. Yes.
All right, do you know why? And I know I'm putting you on the spot
You
here.
are no, and that's okay. What my understanding is the fact that they don't get similar to other kinds of animal proteins. That they don't get the room
the wild,
to go
so to speak.
and the room
Got
to
it.
go and feed on what they would normally feed on. Therefore, their nutritional value is lower because they're not feeding on a higher nutritional
That makes
value
sense.
food.
That makes sense. Now, do you eat it often?
I do, yeah. We're typically once or twice a week.
Is that right?
Yeah. In an ideal world, it would be about 8 ounces a week. So if you have 2 4-ounce portions a week, then it makes me comfortable. Yeah.
It's delicious, especially if it's seasoned well. We just had it not last night, the night before. It's just delicious.
Yeah, we had teriyaki last night.
Okay, even though, Aaron, salmon is a pretty good answer, it's 1-0 Dr. A. So avocado barely beat out salmon. Okay, so as long as everybody knows and keep the score at home, get out your paper and pencil, everybody. It's 1-0 Dr. A.
Well, I have to actually comment, too, on that. Salmon is also antioxidant value to that. So that's something that
you
omega-3s...
can try all you want, Brunelli.
I'm working on it.
Here.
I'm still trying to sway him.
I'm not a fan of avocado, so I think Jennifer has.
Oh, there you
I
go.
think Jennifer has the point first, so
You have no say in this matter.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Aaron, we have a couple of minutes left. What do we got?
All right, we got fitness nuts in the news. This is the segment where we find somebody or a thing crazy or nutty in the fitness world. So this week's fitness nut is Kevin Fast.
He has a name. It's one person rather than
one person.
people.
He's a Canadian strongman, and this
Give it up to those Canadians.
this past month in June, he set a world record for lifting 22 women standing on a platform using only his back, weighing about 2,000 pounds. That's not the crazy nutty part. The nutty part is he has 9 Guinness World Records. And one of the world records is he pulled a CC-117 Globemaster, the big military plane that weighed over 416,000 pounds. No, with his back. He had it harnessed to his back. But he pulled it over 28 feet.
Is that right?
And that's a record. And he also has a record for the biggest house pulled, weighing over 79,000 pounds. He pulled that over 39 feet.
That's bigger than Jennifer's mansion that she lives in.
And him and his son
I'm dreaming.
also have the record for heaviest vehicles pulled by 2 people. They pulled 2 fire trucks.
Yeah,
so far, he's seeing something good.
This guy is the equivalent of the eating people. They don't just win one contest, one hot dog. They win the lobster eating contest. They win the cake eating contest. All kinds of stuff.
He's just
Wait a minute. Go back to the original thing. 22 women on a platform.
And he only lifted it using only his back.
Wait a minute,
around 2,000 pounds. Around 2,000 pounds.
Now, what do you mean on his back? Like there was some type of...
I saw a video, and they were standing on a platform, and the platform was on his back, so he was like bent over at his waist, and then like he was lifting up.
He did a squat, basically.
Pretty much just
22 women.
Yeah. So it was around 2,000 pounds. I'm guessing the platform has something to do with that too.
Wait.
Because
Oh my gosh.
2,000 pounds is 1 ton. That means they only weighed... They were light women, right?
I mean, but
if there's 20 women and it's 2,000 pounds, that means they each weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah,
right?
those are
little.
That was a prelude to the CC-117 Globemaster plane. See, and I just baited the viewers and the listeners, and it's like, oh, that's nothing. Boom, hit him with the military plane. That's all.
He probably once every 3 or 4 days, he probably can't get out of his lazy boy, and his wife goes, I wonder why.
Still sore from that.
The woman thing was just a warm up. That's all. That was just a warm up.
Folks, if you're just joining us, this is the Fitness Doctor on ESPN 730. We are talking about fitness nuts in the news. And what was this guy's name again?
Kevin Fast.
Okay, he's crazy Canadian, and he's lifting all kinds of stuff. And he's going to have a bad back. He's going to need to see our guest from last week, the massage therapist. We're talking with Jennifer Brunelli. We're talking about good foods. And we'll continue with this conversation on the Fitness Doctor about good foods right after this message. Stay with us.
Your extraordinary future begins at Wingate University with more than 35 undergraduate majors and graduate and professional programs in the health sciences, business, and education. Wingate University's enrollment has mushroomed and construction has skyrocketed in the past 2 decades. And Wingate is the 6th best value in the South, according to U.S. News and World Report. Most importantly, Wingate graduates get jobs. They're working all over the Carolinas and the U.S. Major in a great life at Wingate University.
Hi, and welcome back to the Fitness Doctor, the program where we address your exercise, nutrition, and overall health needs. I'm Dr. John Acquaviva, exercise physiologist in the School of Sports Sciences at Wingate University. Aaron, what do we have for this segment?
This segment's rundown includes special in-studio guest Jennifer Brunelli, more on good foods, the social media breakdown, and the takeaway.
All right, let's get back to it. I swear, every time I turn to my left, Jennifer Brunelli is sitting there. I don't think she leaves, and so I just go, all right, we got to create a segment, have them do something with nutrition. She wants to promote her RD Sports Pro. She wants to promote the fact that she's the consultant to the Carolina Panthers, so I just go, all right, well, we'll have her on again.
Oh, thanks. We're just promoting health and better performance.
This is true. That's why it's called the Fitness Doctor. All right, let's get back to it. We're discussing foods that we feel should be included in your everyday eating regimen and providing reasons for each. In the first part of the show, we actually didn't get to too many. I mentioned avocado, and Jennifer jumped on board and goes, oh yeah, that's a great one. And Jennifer mentioned wild salmon, not just salmon, but wild salmon. In other words, the ones that we see in the videos that the bears eat. And they're jumping. No, seriously, if you've ever seen these videos, it's fantastic. Here's what I want to know about salmon. Shouldn't the canners of salmon and the people that market salmon and give it out to grocery stores, shouldn't they be there when they're spawning and grabbing them as they come out of the air? Seriously.
You want that job?
No, just let me ask you this. I know you probably don't read labels and maybe know the salmon this well, but if I have salmon on my table tonight, what are the chances that it's farm produced?
Honestly,
any
one.
idea?
No, you've stumped me with that one. I'm not sure what the ratio, if you will, of farmed to wild salmon is out there. I really don't honestly know that.
I'll be honest on air, right? The cameras are on, the mic's on.
I'm always honest.
Okay, I like that. Do you look for wild salmon? Do you purposely seek it out?
Absolutely. And even when you get the canned, look for the word wild on it.
Now, by the way, Aaron, do you notice she said I stumped her? I think I get another point for that.
Oh,
So
no.
by the way,
that's how it works.
I don't think that's how it works
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
And I think we voted that I'm up 1-0.
It's 2 against 1. So.
little do these people know it's called The Fitness Doctor with John Acquaviva, not with anybody else. All right.
So are you going or am I going? I'm ready. I'm ready for another point.
All right. Before we go on, Aaron, what's the social media breakdown?
All right, if you have a question regarding good foods or would like to request a future topic, follow us on Twitter at Woo Fitness Doctor or like our page on Facebook at WU Fitness Doctor, or you can always shoot us an email at woofitnessdoctor@wingate.edu.
Perfect. All right. We're talking about good foods. I go, and then Jennifer goes, and then I go, and so forth. So we've done a whole one. Actually, we've done 2 foods. Jennifer, what's next on your list of good foods?
I'm going to say
we should include in our diet more often.
I'm going to say cherries.
Okay.
And we talked before about new things coming up, and it's not like cherries are a new thing by any means, but definitely on the forefront right now. Something with athletes that we're using a lot more now is tart cherry juice. And again, just
cherry juice.
Yes.
You can buy this in the supermarket.
You can buy it in a supermarket.
Okay.
Yep. There's different brands. A lot of sports dietitians have a brand that they prefer.
Yep.
Some of these companies are gearing it more towards athletes now, so they have protein or added vitamins and minerals in them.
Why cherries, though?
Yeah, and to your point before, it's funny, I had this list becoming all about antioxidants and oxidative stress and recovery.
High in those, right?
Very high.
And my guess
absolutely.
is that's one of the things you're talking about. It's a fairly new discovery, isn't it?
The true benefit and how beneficial it actually is, it's a little bit more recent in terms of how great it is actually
Any
for you.
fiber in cherries?
There is. Now, are we talking about doing cherries or are we talking about doing cherry juice? Because then that's where our difference, and that's what we can share with our audience.
Cherry juice, there would be no fiber.
Exactly. But if you were to chew on cherries, and you know what? My brain's not going to work for me today, but if I remember correctly, it's somewhere around 40 to 50 cherries in some of these cherry juices that we're using for our athletes.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but are you going to sit down and eat 40 or 50 cherries?
No,
it sounds like a lot.
The pits alone.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, I mean this. You can bet there are nutritional chemists out there that are trying to make the cherry without the pit. Wouldn't you think that
they
would go off? They would have a 400% increase in sales if they could actually figure that out.
Well, and that's what's so interesting is to find out what happens to the actual fruit or to whatever that food is once we start messing with it.
Okay. Cherry juice. I have to find that. All right, mine is whole wheat pasta. Now, everybody likes. No, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people like pasta. They want to include this form of carbohydrate in their regular diet. But one of the reasons that pasta got a bad rap is that its glycemic index is relatively high. It spikes our blood sugar, and people associate it with gaining weight or getting fat. And that's one of the reasons why whole wheat pasta has a cape on and a mask, and it's come to save the day because it's higher in fiber, and therefore it releases into the bloodstream a little slower, and it regulates blood sugar. And also it satisfies us our need to want pasta and pasta-based foods. And so not only wheat pasta, which all pasta is wheat pasta, but whole wheat pasta that's higher in fiber. It's usually pretty dense in nutrients, added in or natural. In fact, I think in most cases it's added in. And of course, it has vitamins and minerals, not quite like a lot of fruits and vegetables, maybe not quite as much as cherries, but there is some. And that's one of the good things about pasta and, for instance, breakfast cereals, is a lot of vitamins and minerals have been added in there.
Yeah, my last name is Brunelli. I like some pasta.
That's right. It says it right in my paper. Indeed, her last name is Brunelli.
But have you had the experience where regular pasta tastes different or the texture is different after you cook it? And I get a lot of people that are just frustrated with the texture because it can get a little chewy.
Yes.
Don't overcook it. Even
That's right.
more
Al dente.
important than regular al dente. That's right.
Your husband and your mother-in-law know the term al dente.
We will not ever not have pasta in our house.
No, I know, it's delicious. And I always almost kind of laugh at people. First of all, I want to correct them when they say bad things about carbs. Mm-hmm. But also, I feel sorry for them. I'm like, you're missing out on all kinds of good Italian meals.
They're so delicious.
Yeah, it's just great. Okay, so Jennifer said cherries. I said whole wheat pasta. It's 3-0 now. But Jennifer got closer with that.
This is rigged.
Cherries. No, I'm not making this up. I'm just going along, and I'm being
I think we need to bring somebody else in here.
But
she got closer. It's kind of like losing a football game. The first time she lost like 30-14. This time she lost 30-28. So she's doing pretty well. Jennifer, let me ask you this.
Pushing on my competitive edge here.
Pretty soon she's gonna get a little piece of paper and go, it's my turn to keep score. Buster, Shorty. Jennifer, I've heard other registered dietitians say this. Do not label foods good and bad. Do you know why they say that, first of all?
Well, it's easier to work with somebody and say, put things in a yes basket and a no basket, and then instead of dealing with portion control, we're just saying have this or don't have this. Yeah. I think that's where that stemmed from, honestly.
Do you avoid those terms? Oh, anything associated with it? Any synonym of good and bad?
Truly, it depends on the client to me. It depends on the athlete or the individual that I'm working with. If I know you can handle portion control, then there is nothing that you can't have, as far as I'm concerned.
Got it.
But there definitely are good and better and best,
we
maybe.
We do know that, yes. Yeah. That's the purpose of this discussion. And I think we'd be void and we'd be coming short in our discussion, but also kind of cheating the listener and the viewer and cheating our field if we didn't talk about the fact that some foods are better than others and we should, okay. So you will sometimes actually use that word or something similar to that.
Absolutely.
I like that. Yeah. One more reason to have her back on the show. Will you be back again in 2 weeks,
right.
Jennifer?
I'm ready every other week. Let's do it.
All right. Do you have a question for Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
Phones are ringing.
They're buzzing over here. Charles Xavier posted on the Facebook pages and asked Jennifer, would a high sugar product ever be on this list of good foods?
Absolutely. I think
it would.
I think we have some of them. Fruits and vegetables. Fruits typically are pretty high sugar.
They are sugar in a way. It's a form of sugar called fructose.
Exactly. Not added sugar, but naturally occurring sugar. But there's, what did we talk about at the beginning? Fiber that comes along with it. That's going to stunt that blood sugar spike. But if you're asking if it's something that added sugar that might be on the list, I'd hesitate to say that there would be one. I doubt it.
Okay. In fact, if it's just kind of granulated sugar, some form of processed food,
yeah,
that probably wouldn't be on
just
there.
Not necessary.
Yeah, it really isn't. And we know that, and that's one of the things that I've told a bunch of my students and clients and that you have, is that you can do it. It's not going to benefit you in any way, though. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to do it as long as it's every once in a while, right? Rather than daily or even with each meal, whatever the case. Like something like Coke or some other soda pop.
I mean, if you're going to get to a movie once every 6 months, now that I have a baby, if once every 6 months I get to a movie, I'm going to have some Skittles, But it's certainly not going to be part of our list of foods that we definitely want to have. That's for sure.
Got it. Okay, my turn's next. Let's see. Number 3 on the list of mine is the sweet potato. This is, I think, one of the silent foods out there. It's just delicious. It can be prepared in a few different ways, but most of us like it with the combination of butter or margarine, cinnamon, and brown sugar. Right?
There you go. There's the added sugar.
But just its name kind of invites us to eat it. It is rich in nutrients. It is rich in fiber. Keep the skin on, right?
Absolutely.
This is a perfect case. But as much as anything, they're delicious. Do you like
sweet
potatoes?
Gosh, mashed sweet potatoes, baked sweet potato fries,
they
mixed up in veggies to hide some of the other ones you might not like as much. We can do all these things.
One of the things about sweet potatoes that I've noticed is, you mentioned sweet potato fries. I want to say 5 years ago, Jennifer, you could go to virtually any restaurant and they wouldn't even know what you're talking about. And I would say maybe a half, maybe little
even more.
You think they offer that
every
now.
time I go, I think I see some form of sweet potato. It's encouraging.
Yeah, well, but when it's fried, of course,
Well,
it probably
Baked fries, hopefully.
Yeah. Jennifer's a wishful thinker, isn't she, Aaron? All right. I think that's all I'll say about sweet potato. What's next on your list?
Well, and the only other point I'm going to bring up to compare it to is starchy carbohydrate. So if you need a balance between carbohydrates, when we were talking about that pasta,
and it's
where
not
do
in that
these
category,
things
right?
fit?
It's not like a regular potato. It's not a starchy carbohydrate.
Well, it's not, but it makes you feel like it is.
And that's why people avoid it, you think?
It's something that I think people avoid it, but unfortunately it's something that you could utilize more often in place of something like a pasta and get a better benefit from it.
Got it.
Yep. All right, so my next one?
Yeah, if you're just joining us, this is The Fitness Doctor on ESPN 730, and we're in the middle of a good foods list. It's Jennifer's turn to go, but she's down 3-0, everybody. Keep going.
Okay, I'm going to say a hard word here.
Go ahead.
Cruciferous vegetables.
Spell that.
What
and
on earth?
We're going to have a spelling contest with Aaron here.
She gets a point just for that name. Just for saying that correctly, she gets a point.
That's right.
I'll consider giving her a point if she can say it again right now.
Cruciferous vegetables.
What is it? What is cruciferous?
Cabbage, broccoli, kale. Talk about superfood, if you will,
Stuff
of labeling
that people
things.
hate. People are driving right now into a tree going, I'd rather crash into this tree than eat the stuff that Jennifer's
Okay,
talking
ready
about.
for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Probably half, if not more, of my pro athletes eat it at least twice a day.
Because you force them to?
No.
You mean when you just do a check on
For
their
example,
diet?
even with the Panthers, walking in the first time, I had a significant number of the guys already on top of making sure they're getting some of these things. Now, here's the thing. Are they necessarily sitting down and eating a big bowl of raw kale? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But throwing it in a smoothie, blending it up, you don't
Awesome.
even taste it.
Yes.
Baking it in the oven and on a really high, real high temperature, salt and pepper, crispy. It is so good.
Absolutely.
So there's ways to fit it in. Even putting cold broccoli in smoothies. Literally, we will blend cabbage and broccoli and put it in tomato sauce.
In the Brunelli household?
That's right.
Okay.
We hide it.
Of those three, kale, broccoli, and cabbage, which do you eat the most of?
I probably do the most of broccoli, personally, because I actually enjoy it. But kale is getting up there.
Do you enjoy, like, I'll steam it for a minute, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt and pepper, boom, and I'll eat a huge... My wife still looks at me as if I'm eating acorns, but it's probably not too far from that. But broccoli is definitely one of the superfoods.
Yeah, if you don't overcook it, certainly.
And what's that word again you use? It's in this...
Cruciferous.
Okay, she gets a half point.
10
I get a
times
half point. It's 3.5 to a half. So Jennifer's on the board, Aaron.
Working my way.
Okay, folks, we are in the midst of a list, and gosh, we might have to come back with this list, Jennifer.
I think so.
Do we need to do another show on good foods? We only listed 6, but we'll maybe revisit it another time.
We'll see what the feedback is.
Yeah, exactly. We get all kinds of feedback, don't we, Aaron?
All types.
Now, who contacts us the most? Through Facebook, through email, through Twitter, through what are the other mediums?
I will say
phone
Twitter.
calls?
I would say Twitter is the
Number
most,
one.
number one, and it also is the most interesting Twitter handles. The names.
Yeah,
people.
we like saying
most
that's
interesting. If some of the names like Chasing Waterfalls 13. I mean, like, where does people come up with this stuff?
Yeah, well,
it's pretty interesting.
Probably the same book that Jennifer got
Another point right there.
We can give Jennifer all the points she wants, but she's not going to catch 3.5. That's all there is to it.
This is going to be running through next week.
Exactly. I want to thank my guest, Jennifer Brunelli, for joining us on talking about good foods. You've been listening to The Fitness Doctor on ESPN 730. And remember, folks, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. See you next time on The Fitness Doctor.
Planning your next step in life? Come complete your education in a dynamic, caring environment at Wingate University. Enrollment and construction have skyrocketed in the past 2 decades as students pursue challenging and rewarding degrees in fields like the health sciences, business, and education. U.S. News & World Report has named Wingate University the 6th best value in the South. Visit one of our 3 great campuses, Wingate, North Carolina, Hendersonville, or Charlotte, or check us out at wingate.edu. Major in a great life at Wingate University.